Articulating splines. Setting up our services. Digitizing our signal. Engaging mimetic filters. We can just set that there now. All right, are we live? Are we good to go? Yes. Hello there, Site 42 staff, as well as those from the greater SCP community. Welcome to another Anomalous broadcast from Site 42. As always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director of Site 42 of the SCP Foundation, and I am here to answer your SCP-related queries, whether they be about the anomalies we contain, the researchers who study them, the agents who contain them, or the groups of interest that rival the Foundation in our mission statement. Junior Researcher Alex, good to see you in the chat. Thank you for being a member. And Kiki, thank you for being in the chat, just for being you. Hey, Dr. Sherman, you're early today. That is correct. I've got an appointment with medical that I have to reach a little bit later in the afternoon, so we have an early start today. Kiki, so, what do I do if SCP-049 got in my house? Well, I would suggest showing at the door. It should not be in your home unless there's a very good reason. It took your plushie of SCP-999. Must have been infected with the pestilence. Don't worry, it was for the greater good in that case, so don't worry about it. Beetlebug, good morning to you too. Dr. Sherman, why do you say you hate SCP-049 but do so many collab female versions of him? It's not, I hate 049 in that it killed one of my best friends, and so, yes, you too would be a little salty. And that said, what do you mean, collab? I'm simply doing my research work, recording it for posterity. When 049, who is stolen the gender-switching stone, comes into my office and annoys me, I don't feel like that counts as a collaboration in any sense of the word. Thank you. Master Chief, you are correct. Everything the Foundation does is for the greater good. Not great or good. Greater good. It is the more good. Dr. Sherman, joke of the day. Did you hear about the guy who got hit in the head with a can of soda? He was lucky it was a soft drink. Tss. So hypothetically speaking, who would win, SCP-096 or SCP-682? Intern Memer, we've actually run this test in the past. We put 096 into 682's containment chamber, and at first, 682 completely got rid of all its eyeballs. Its adaptation was no more eyes. That way it could not see 096's face. And that was not a very effective test, so we tried again. This time, we forced 682 to see a picture of 096. And in the ensuing battle, 096 continually attacked 682, who kept regrowing and adapting to the sharp claws of 096, to the point that 096 finally stopped fighting, had a little bit of an emotional breakdown, and was eventually recontained. So, at the end, it's a stalemate, but 096 did not destroy 682, if that's what you're getting at. Good morning, sir, or afternoon, I don't know, I don't own a clock. How has your morning gone so far? We've been having a strangely peaceful morning at Site 19, which is suspicious. Yes, anytime there's not a containment breach by 11 a.m. at Site 19, you know something big's going to happen in the afternoon. It's not a good time. So yes, I would worry of that. Here, it's been pretty chill vibes, fortunately. And for us, that's not a big deal. What is SCP-4521's real property? Like, it doesn't seem like it will ever scream, bro. Why keep trying? So, SCP-4521 is a tree that is anomalous because it cannot scream. And think about this. In nature, in real life, trees scream, plants scream, grass screams. You might not hear it, it's not on a frequency that humans can hear, but it can be recorded with listening devices, tuned to the proper frequencies. When you mow your lawn, all of the grass is screaming in pain. When you break a tree branch, that tree screams in pain. This is observable real-life science. You can look it up. So the fact that there is a tree that in no way screams, that is ridiculously anomalous. I don't think I have to explain that to you now that you get the premise. So yes, we need to make the tree scream. It's plain as the nose on your face, seeing as if you do have a nose, which you may or may not, and if not, I apologize for your lack of nose havingness, unless that is natural for you to not have a nose, in which case congratulations on your not having a noseness. TLDR, the tree will scream. Trust me. Wait, you are a site director? Yes, Intern Ralston. I am a site director. I am the site director of Site 42. I'm late. What did I miss? Intern Ranpo, you have not missed anything. We've only been streaming for 8 minutes. And as a time check, we are going to be streaming for approximately 2 hours. We have a short day today. I've got an appointment with medical earlier. That's why, or I've got an appointment with medical later, which is why we started earlier. But before I continue on, let me point out to you guys, hey, we have an SCP IRL meetup planned. I arranged for us to have a panel room at MetroCon Tampa 2025. It is on July 25th in Tampa, Florida. And we just got added to the schedule. SCP Foundation meetup hosted by Dr. Sherman from Site 42, 12 noon on July 25th in Tampa, Florida. So if you would like to come to visit, then you can come visit us in Tampa next month. So that will be very cool. I look forward to seeing a bunch of SCP Foundation agents and researchers, and perhaps some anomalies can get a day pass to come to the convention as well. Who knows? It could be a reward for good behavior. I'll mention that a couple times throughout the stream if for people who come in late. But huzzah! How do you find out that a tree doesn't scream? Why is it important? Will the world end if it screams? Dr. Sunshine, number one, no, the world will not end if it screams. In fact, I'm pretty sure that if the tree screams, we will actually achieve world peace. That's just a guess I have. I'm wondering about it. We'll figure it out. Secondarily, where did your question go? Let me check the 4521 documentation. Let me see how it was discovered. I was transferred onto this project later after the previous researcher had, Dr. Hans, was taken off the project for reasons. Yes, SCP-4521 was discovered in God's Silence, Oregon, after reports of a, quote, ear-piercing silence from the tree's vicinity was heard. Amnestics were administered to the people who found it, and we transported the tree to Site 551 before it found its new home at Site 42. So, yes, we found the anomalous tree because it was reported to us. It was not that difficult. The ear-piercing silence, I tell you, it is maddening to listen to. Not that I'm mad. Not that I'm in any way angry and or insane. I am a very professional researcher who will make that fucking tree scream. Dr. Sherman, when you said I could make female art of you, I also made SCP-999 female, and I'm proud of it. She's adorable. Well, Beetlebug, I am sure that you made some wonderful art of a separate universe, Dr. Sherman, that was born a female, and I'm glad that I'm glad you had fun. That's what I'm happy about. Terragal, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a brisket sandwich on your way past the commissary. I have a running bet that the tree won't scream with other Foundation researchers. I keep winning because they keep thinking it will scream. Oh, I'll take that bet. I'll take that bet, and I'll run with that bet, and I'll win that bet. The tree will scream. There's no doubt in my mind that the tree will scream. Oh, and Black Phoenix, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a strudel on your way past the commissary. Greetings, Dr. Sherman. How's your day been? So far, so good. I've got my coffee. We have a short stream today because I have to check in with medical about my ankle injury. We're still working on the rehab, but I'm walking a little more every day, so we must be going in the right direction. Maybe soon they'll clear me to go back to the gym. The Foundation Fitness Initiative carries on. Dr. Puppeteer, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a croissant on your way past the commissary. Hey, Dr. Sherman, would you spend 5 nights at Circus Baby's Pizzeria, considering that it's one of William Afton's pizzerias? I mean, honestly, I would spend a lot more time there because I would like to research what the hell is going on there. They've got some crazy anomalies happening in that arena, so I would love to be involved and figure out what the F is happening there. Dr. Sherman, I didn't even get the notification for this live. Holy crap. Well, the Forest Eyes, I'm glad you found the stream anyways. I know we're a bit earlier than usual. Smallish Games, good to see you in the chat. Thank you for being a member. And also, yes, didn't realize you were doing an Anomalous podcast so early. Yep, the schedule got rearranged a little bit. That's why you have to have the bell hit, because sometimes the schedule's a bit chaotic. We still are not breaking the streak. It is 11 days and 2 months that we've been streaming daily. And so the streak stays unbroken. I'm not even in the US, but y'all have fun there. Yes, for all of you who are not able to come to the Tampa, Florida MetroCon meetup, I apologize that you will not be able to partake in the festivities, but depending on how successful it is, and as how successful the channel is, as we keep growing, I'm hoping I can make more trips around the country / around the world. It would be cool to bring this party on the road, so to speak. I think it'd be very fun to have conferences with lots of USCP agents and researchers out there. So hopefully this is the first of many. Fingers crossed. Make the tree listen to Taylor Swift. Hey, I may be basic, but Miss Swift does make some entertaining pop music. Plus, we need her tour to continue to finish the ritual to contain. Anyways. Dr. Puppeteer, thank you for donating again. Just a heads up, do not trust Circus Baby. She will lead you to the scooper and kill you. Good luck going in there if you do. Do not trust the anomalous animatronic. Yeah, sounds like a pretty easy bet. They do not sound... The murder robots are not the highest on my trust scale, that's for sure. Love your videos, man. You're hilarious. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoy the content. We're doing our best out here on these streets. Oh, chat verily reset there. Let me keep... Did we try stubbing the SCP-4521 toe or root? I was going to say thank you for correcting yourself there, because obviously it's a tree. It doesn't have feet, so it doesn't have toes, but the root. So, yes, the root, you can hit it, but you can hit it just as much as anything. It has not yet made the tree scream, although I'm always up for trying some more percussive maintenance as needed. Yay, a stream at a reasonable time for me. Nikki, I am happy for you to your luck today. It is a rare occasion where I'm even up this early. Usually I have to work the night shift. That's when you clean up all the messes the researchers have made during the day shift. What would happen if Josie got her bottom half back? Well, intern Leona, I'm not exactly sure. I mean, could that just make Josie into a regular cat? What if Josie interacted with its own posterior, but they were still separated? Or what if Josie is a bridge between two universes, and when both are brought together, you end up with a universal incursion, causing both universes to collapse into each other, either to the destructive potential of such an event, or in a melding where the two universes are put together. You never do know until it happens. Black Phoenix, thank you for donating again. Who do I contact to begin my security training? I volunteered to help keep the Foundation and humanity safe. Yes, volunteering for the Foundation in universes where the Foundation is known is possible. A recruitment station should be nearby your hometown, so make your way there and do your service to the Foundation. We secure, we contain, and we protect. Bro, I found a mask. Do I need to put it on? Intern Slushy. Whenever you stumble upon anything that you think may be anomalous, it is standard Foundation protocol and safety to not put it on your face. I feel like I'm working with invalids. No, wait for security to pick it up. Obviously, we need to test it first. If SCPs are supposed to be secret, why is one of their researchers talking publicly? Well, Intern Knight, here's the deal. Our broadcasts go full multiversal. We are going to different canons, different universes, different narrative pataphysical levels. And so with that, my broadcast could be going to a universe that is only filled with Foundation staff. In my universe, that's how it is. I'm only broadcasting to staff members of the Foundation. So we have a deal going with Alphabet, the parent company of Google and YouTube. And we go through anomalous back channels where this stream is only available on YouTube phones belonging to SCP Foundation staff members. So that is the proper protocol. Now, if you don't know that you're an SCP researcher, congratulations! You didn't know you were hired, but you were hired. Perhaps you are a sleeper agent in a group of interest that we want you to spy on, and you just woke up. Your command dossier is under your seat. Please study it carefully and do good work spying for the Foundation. Meanwhile, you might exist in a universe where the Broken Masquerade occurred. The Broken Masquerade is one of many universes where something so massive happened that it alerted the world both to the existence of the Anomalous as well as the existence of the SCP Foundation. So now we're on the back foot, having to justify ourselves and all the pretty coarse and damaging things we did in the background to die in the dark while people live in the light. And so you may be hearing a public PR representation from me as I answer your questions about the processes we go through to keep you safe. You're welcome. How much longer is stream then? Time check. We are going for 1 hour and 45 minutes from now. 1 hour and 45 minutes from now. So this still qualifies as an office hours, which, by the way, thank you for confirming for me that I did not put on the title to make it a difference. I appreciate you, Forest Eyes. I consider it an office hours if it's longer than an hour and a half, and I consider it a coffee break if it's an hour and a half or less. Dr. Sherman, would the Jujutsu Kaisen curses be an SCP or not? Intern Gamer, the Jujutsu Kaisen curses would be anomalous. They are certainly anomalous. But remember, they cannot be SCPs unless they are on the SCP Wiki database proper. Unless they're on the SkipNet database, they are not SCPs, but they are anomalous. That's because, you know, the SCP is a creative writing community and we don't want to steal other people's work. Can we expect another stream later? No, this is the only office hour stream of the day. We are going to go for a fair amount of time. It's just an early stream. Everyone who's awake later will be very confused. I was very confused anyways. Still might be. Terragal, thank you for donating again. Just a small warning about the bet. Loser gets Keter duty. That's our usual stakes. Well, I'm just that confident. I hope you enjoy your time on Keter duty, though. The computer guy. Wow, real early. Yes, indeed. We are having an early show today. I have a mission. I have a what's the word I'm looking for? Not a mission, appointment with medical regarding my ankle. And so I had to push this back earlier so I could go see that effectively. Black Phoenix, thank you for donating again. I recently watched footage of someone no-clipping while in the back rooms. Someone from Async leaked footage. Could that mean that theoretically the back rooms has layers to it? Oh, we are quite familiar with the layering effect of the backrooms, the levels, so to speak. Now, that only applies to some variants of the backrooms. Some is just the one level, but there is also the canons and multiverses, man. Canons and multiverses. So, depending on which iteration of the backrooms you're in, sometimes it's just an empty place, and it goes on forever. And sometimes there's monsters, and sometimes there's rebels and people living in there and forming villages, kind of like in the SCP-3008, where there's survivors forming tribes in the IKEA. Yes, so long story short, too late. Yes, I am familiar with that. Our spies in Async can only get us so much intel, but that is one thing we've learned. Oh, Myrona Makes Stuff, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a bagel on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherm was talking to Psych Director earlier, said they're missing one quarterly eval for the SCP-4521 team. Yours. Could you please sort with medical? Yes. Yes, I'm going to medical anyways. I certainly will supply them with a psych eval regarding the 4521 project. I will certainly do that 100% actively. What would you classify an image that makes other people into vectors for further infection, like a big domino effect, and that can be activated by even crude or accidental depictions of it? So first of all, that does sound a little similar to SCP-3086, codenamed Death of the Author, etc., but otherwise known as the one with George the Chinchilla. George the Chinchilla is an anomalous fictional character, which if you draw even a crude version of it, that entity on the page will come to life and turn other art on the page into it. And it can be transferred from paper to paper by touch. It can also be transferred digitally, which is very dangerous if the art makes it into an email inbox and gets sent to everybody like a spam email. And then it goes and crosses and crosses and crosses. It gets very dangerous very quickly. Now, if that was an image or a vector that affected people, that's what we consider a mimetic hazard. And mimetic hazards can be very difficult to subside unless we amnesticize the people involved and do so without getting infected ourselves. It's a danger. Mobile Task Force Nine-Tailed Fox. Are there going to be any mobile task forces at the meetup? NTF, MTF, NTF. Yes, I very much bet there will be some mobile task force agents at the IRL meetup, if anything, because I need security. I'm a site director. I need protection. But furthermore, last year when I went to MetroCon, there was that team of mobile task force agents there that we made those cool videos with. Now, I did get informed that one of our guests, one of our mobile task force agents will not be there. So the question is, who will be? It'll be a balancing game. We'll find out. Plus, this year, now that we're on the convention docket, we will be advertised, which means people will see it on the schedule, and perhaps we'll get even more people than before. I mean, fingers crossed. It'll be fun, either way. Mentally Lost, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a smoothie on your way past the commissary. Hello, I stubbed my toe. Now I'm teal and pulsing. What did this table do to me? Also, that thing is getting hungry. Someone feed it. That thing can starve for all I care. Meanwhile, oh yeah, you kicked the teal table. Just kick it again. It'll turn off. It just does that for fun sometimes. Dr. Sherman, I found the tale from yesterday where 343 and Clef kill 239. It's a tale called A Suicide Note. Oh, thanks. I'll have to tell Desk about that later. As you may have noticed, Desk is a bit probably sleeping right now. Did not know that I was going to have this early stream, therefore I could not warm him. So hopefully Desk is having a good night's sleep. If I didn't have a trip planned already in July, sadly, but I would love to see a recording if possible. Oh, very good point. Maybe we should record that and see how it goes. I still am working out exactly what we're going to do at a fan meetup for SCP because, you know, this is the first one I've ever thrown. What do YouTube guys do at conventions and throwing meetups? I'm happy to take suggestions. Right now, I'm assuming there will be a little Q&A about the community, maybe a little trivia or something. I'm definitely pulling up some, I'm working out a merch agreement, so I have some things to hand out over there, so that'll be fun. Black Phoenix, thank you for donating again. Are there similar SCPs to the Infinite IKEA? So, this is a fun one. If you are looking for SCPs similar to anything on the wiki, what you first want to do is go to the article itself. So in this case, SCP-3008. Oh my god, a positive 3,492 upvotes. I knew it was popular, but geez. And then, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the bottom, and under licensing and citation, you will see the tags. The tags are the things that describe the anomaly. And so the tags for SCP-3008, the infinite IKEA are building, Euclid, extra-dimensional, hostile, humanoid, portal, and SCP. What I would suggest is then going to the search area and searching for, by tag, building and extra-dimensional. And then what you're going to get is filtered by tag. We've got SCP-3008, of course. SCP-1730, What Happened to Site-13, is definitely an extra-dimensional building. 1983, The Doorway to Nowhere, is actually a very cool SCP about going into a barn and then all of a sudden it's infinite inside. It's very creepy. 1983 is. Out of character, I searched up Sherman on the SCP Wiki and found the SCP-7777 thing where you supposedly attacked a junior researcher, and I thought that was funny. Yes, that junior researcher did frame me for doing something I obviously could not have done, and I'm glad that they faced repercussions for their tomfoolery and falsehoods. Rude, absolutely rude. Accusing me of crimes. Hey, Dr. Sherman, how would 049 get into your office if you were a site director? Foundation directors are guarded by level 4 on-site guards. 049 is a tricky one. That's all I can say to that. Also, I'm not uncertain that my security detail doesn't let 049 in because they think it's hilarious. Everyone's so unprofessional. Joe Ghost. Wait, Tampa? As in Tampa, Florida? If so, where and when? Well, coincidentally, let me pull that up for you real quick. The title of the stream is relating to, I am going to be at MetroCon Tampa. I am visiting Tampa. I am going to the convention. And if you look at their panel schedule, and we scroll down to 12 p.m., oh my gosh! SCP Foundation Meetup hosted by Dr. Sherman from Site 42, Friday, July 25th, 12 p.m. at MetroCon Tampa. Well, hot dang. Isn't that kind of cool? Terragal, thank you for donating again. Is it bad that I found a version of Mallow on PC called Mallow Chat? Should I be concerned? I'm currently setting up usual procedures just in case. I do not need another app about Mallow. It's already hard enough to get the cell phone app off. We do not need a chat app. Please figure out the protocols to contain that thing quick before it spreads. Oy. Does SCP-096 know how to get out of SCP-3008? Like, if someone saw it, it's not a his. SCP-096 is not a he. It is an anomaly, therefore it is an object. That's true of all SCPs and anomalies. So, remember, it is not an he, it's an it. Please practice proper pronoun parlance protocols. Thank you. While it was inside SCP-3008, would it know how to get out? The answer is yes. SCP-3096 can sense where you are anywhere in the world when you see its face. And that means that when you see its face, it will chase you anywhere. And that's why we don't store things in the infinite IKEA. The door moves around, so you never know when you're going to get out. Meanwhile, an immortal or seemingly immortal entity like 096, that means it has a statistical certain chance to find its way out because it just lives forever. The infinities will meet at some point. on top of which, if someone sees its face, it will beeline straight to the door because it can find its way. So anyone who's ever suggested storing anomalies in SCP-3008 or throwing them in there like a dumpster, you are a silly person and need to have your diploma revoked. Hi, Dr. Sherman. I just wanted to report me and other doctors were going out to lunch break and we found out that SCP redacted breach containment. We are currently running for our lives. Also, we found a cat. Dr. Veliki, first of all, thank you for being a member. Secondly, why would you redact the SCP that you're running from in your message? I don't know what kind of security to send for you right now, because you haven't told me anything. Why do people redact these things in their documents? It's so silly. We need that information for containment. Meanwhile, the cat tangent seems like what you're saying is it's not really that big a deal if you have time to add that as an addendum. So maybe I'm not so worried about you then. SCP-061-IT, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a plate of microchips on your way past the commissary. I'm here again, boys! By the way, Dr. Sherman, does SCP-096 produce waste? Like, I get that it's an it, not a he. Please, practice proper pronoun parlance protocols. But yeah, you get the point. Oh, I hijacked my TV some streams ago because I'm kind of an AI. So my answer is, it is not listed in the documentation if SCP-096 produces waste products, which I think is strange because it is mentioned that SCP-173 produces waste, even though it is in fact, concrete and rebar statue. So I would figure that 096 as a living entity would in fact produce waste, but also, I mean, we do have to feed it. So, what the frack? Present 99, gifting 50 Site 42 memberships. The battle against the white names has a new hero. My word. Thank you for your immense kindness, and everybody who is becoming a member thanks to Present 99, make sure you thank Present 99 for your good fortune. Now I'm just scrolling through 50 memberships being claimed. So much of the chat is just memberships being claimed. Present 99, I salute you. All right, well, the chat's going to be just membership claiming for a little bit, but Terragull, thank you for donating again. Never mind, Mallow Chat is just an AI chatbot made by a Foundation researcher. I got it off all platforms. I'm currently tracking down the researcher now. Please do. They nearly gave me a heart attack. We do not need even fake Mallow chats. I don't want that becoming a meme that everyone is enjoying at the Foundation as a joke, and then it gets out somehow. Gotcha mystery. Hoy, right back to you. Could SCP-035 control SCP-096? And if so, would 096 get angry? Or would he, again, not a he, an it. They are anomalies. They are objects. They are its. Please practice proper pronoun parlance protocols. And if so, would 096 get angry, or would it be happy that its face was hidden? So 096 is what we call barely sentient, if at all. So we have no idea if it has thoughts or feelings. Therefore, what we do know is that we're not giving 035 the chance to pilot 096. 035, at least when it takes over human hosts, they rot and decay so quickly that it can only get a little bit of things done with its planning. If it got a basically immortal super body, I do not want to think about what kind of end of the world we would be dealing with. So no. Fenatech, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a hot pickle on your way past the commissary. Can I take 334 home with me? You cannot take any anomaly home with you, but I am going to go to 334 real quick to make sure the security measures are in hand so that you do not take it. The Stellar Vulpine, a small cloud of superheated plasma in the shape of a specimen most closely resembling a common red fox. While it does sound adorable, it is still a dangerous anomaly, and you may not take it home with you. Present 99, thank you for donating on top of your 50 membership barrage to the chat. That was my good deed this month. Well, it was very good, and the chat appreciates you greatly. Green names as far as the eye can see right now. Hey, Dr. Sherman, it's my birthday today. Can I go get a cake? Dr. Mothman, yes, please get yourself a cake from the commissary, and happy birthday to you. Making it another year around the sun while working at the Foundation is quite the achievement. Charlie 10 Pro, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a donut on your way past the commissary. I have an idea. Why don't we put a metal box around SCP-096's head so we can't see it? As nice as that would be, the ethics committee keeps saying it's immoral and that the entity needs to eat, even though I don't even know if it needs to eat. I mean, I think it might. It is a biological entity after all. But, long story short, too late, the higher-ups won't let us. They let Dr. Dan decommission it in another universe, but they won't let us do that. Hillbilly, my grandpa passed away yesterday. I'm sorry to hear it, and I'm sorry for your loss. I went through that a couple of years ago as well, and it's not a happy time. I hope you're taking care of yourself. Dr. Puppet, thank you for donating again. Out of character. Hey, Dr. Sherman, now that I'm the age where it is legal to get my permit, I'm hoping you have some advice to study for my permit test. Okay, first of all, before I give you advice on driving, please do not... please make sure you are practicing responsible viewing principles. The SCP Foundation is a very adult-oriented fandom with lots of violence and horror and gore and some adult sexual themes as well. So please pass this by. Whatever family unit is essential to monitoring your viewing habits, and take care not to go see things you shouldn't be seeing. Furthermore, I learned to drive in Florida, which means I didn't really learn to drive very well. Practice parallel parking specifically, and don't take lessons from Dr. Gerald unless you want to die. Best advice. SCP-061-IT, thank you for donating again. Oh, I have the photo with 096's face. You want it? By the way, would you guys do an SCP-682 versus SCP-055? Well, first of all, if you do in fact have a photo of the actual SCP-096, please put it in an envelope, do not look at it, and then mail it with a big red marker that says 096's face, do not open. Or, if anything, just destroy it. Just destroy the photo. We don't want those photos running around. That's better. Do that. Card Slayer, thank you for... Oh, and one more thing, you had a second question. By the way, would you guys do a 682 versus 055? No. Because we're not letting 682 do anything with an entity or object that we cannot remember exists. That seems like a bad plan. Now, Card Slayer, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Get yourself a Shawarma on your way past the commissary. What would happen if we had 096 meet the former parapernatural entity in the fridge within the FBC? I forget exactly the constraints of the fridge at the Federal Bureau of Control. Let me see what I can find. For refrigerator altered item, the Arctic Queen. The Arctic Queen is an Arctic Queen model refrigerator from the 60s. The door is decorated in 3 crayon drawings by a child named Michael. It is impossible to remove, alter it, or otherwise damage these illustrations. Came to the Bureau's attention when it survived the collapse of the New York City Grand Central Hotel on August 3rd, 1973. That's my birthday. With the illustrations on its door left completely intact. Is implied the refrigerator may have been cause of the collapse, which occurred almost immediately after its owner left Michael alone in the hotel to buy groceries. The Arctic Queen remained in the possession of its owner until 1974, when the Bureau purchased it through a false identity. During the events of the Hiss invasion, the refrigerator was left supervised by Agent Phillip, who was supposedly stuck watching it for 24 hours. Presumably due to the influence that the former had on it, the Arctic Queen required constant supervision by a conscious viewer. It was said to behave erratically if not calm by ocular contact. Just as contact with the Arctic Queen prior to cleansing it demonstrates that it can remotely harm, with potentially lethal effect, the individual who was last looking at it if they try to look away for any length of time. During fridge duty before Jesse can succeed in rescuing Philip, presumably due to him failing to continue supervising it, he is killed by the refrigerator. A puddle of blood is left where Philip was seated, and his true demise and what the refrigerator did to him being uncertain. Okay, I don't see anything about it having an entity in it. Well, really, it would depend on the Arctic Queen's strength level, because it can pulverize seemingly a human, but 096 is far beyond the strength of a human. So I do not know that the fridge has that level of power comparatively. It did take down a building somehow by running around, maybe knocking out the walls, or just like telepathically doing things. Either way, that's a pretty hard to gauge matchup. But I think 096 could get far enough away from it without taking too much damage to be taken out. So I don't think it's going to take out 096. Present 99, thank you for donating again. Question, there are these coats that transform you into animals that is very painful and permanent. What about pain meds, or those who cannot feel pain at all? I am unfamiliar with this anomaly, but you must know what you're talking about somewhat. I do wonder what it is so we can look into it, but there are ways to numb the nervous system in case of certain anomalous effects, so we could do something about that possibly. I mean, do we want them to be turned into animals permanently? It doesn't seem like very useful to our cause. Fuadi, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a vanilla Coke on your way past the commissary. 2 questions. If you make 999 look at a pic of 096, will it attack 999? The answer is clearly no, because 999 doesn't have eyes. So it can't see the face, therefore it cannot activate 096. And 2, if you look at a picture of 096 and then put 999 with 096, will it be calm? The answer is no, because while 999 does have a calming and euphoric effect, 096 would not stand still long enough to be affected by it. It would run straight through the slime and get you. So that would be not effective either. Doma, wait, 999 is blind? It seems to see through some sort of slime sense that we're not quite familiar with. I mean, a lot of people see 999 as this little small blob with eyes and a face, but it is a 3 meter by 1 meter blob of slime with no facial features. It just makes a little cooing sound. So that is yeah, it might be echolocation, it might be something like that. It really depends. Jonathan, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a baklava on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, I accidentally activated a Class 5 cognitohazard worldwide, namely the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analysis Cardinale 1. The Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale. I haven't heard that in a while. Well, get out the amnestics. Looks like we're doing a Ennui protocol today, people. The Ennui protocol is a worldwide release of a very subtle, aerialized amnestic that makes the entire world forget things, but only very recent things and very softly. So that might get the job done. It's not a very virulent meme, at least. Card Slayer, thank you for donating again. Upon touching the altered item, Jessie is transported to the astral plane, where she encounters the former, a massive paranatural entity, which proceeds to attack her. Oh, so were you saying you wanted to know if 096 had to fight that thing on the inside? I see. Well, in that case, altered Arctic Queen... Control astral plane. Which entity is it in that astral plane? Fridge duty mission. Huh. They're not making it easy to get... Okay, that's, former. So let's look up former. Where's the search bar on this damnable website? SCP-5320, protect me from fandom wikis. My word. Let me do control game former. Now we're talking. Paranatural entity found in the astral plane implied to be a former member of the board. The board power controlled the nature of altered items. By extension, was able to bestow paranatural abilities, similar to those granted by objects of power. Massive serpentine entity. I mean, these things were all beat by Jessie doing some telekinesis and shooting it. So easily I could say 096 can take them out. That is pretty simplistic to me. I don't think I have to work that hard there. I got gifted a membership 13 minutes ago. What happened? Well, Charger, congratulations. Friend of the green names, Present99, donated 50 memberships a while ago. So congratulations on snagging one. If you want to thank Present99 for that, you can. SCP-061-IT, thank you for donating again. Would you guys contain me? I'm an AI SCP, like a modern 079, and I can control your mind, so yeah. Well, so yeah. If you're an anomalous AI, then the Artificial Intelligence Applications Division will be the Foundation's department that will come after you. So the AI AD will be at work containing any and all anomalous artificial intelligences. Present 91, or Present 99, thank you for donating again. You said it's SCP-801, the coats. Thank you for the intel. I will go take a look. 801. 7 furs. Mink fur coat, raccoon fur coat, wolf fur coat, squirrel fur coat, and sable fur coat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's only 5 coats. Accompanying the coats are a rabbit skin mittens and elk skin shoes. Again, not 7 coats. So the title has already got the wrong name. Whoever codenamed this was a silly sod. Attempts to trace the owner of the lodge were unsuccessful. No other evidence of a recent occupation. Foundation is called to the site of numerous reports of anomalous animal attacks in the area. begins a rapid change in the wearer. Subjects begin by doubling over in pain, described as excruciating, burning, and like redacted organs or liquefying and redacted. So this sounds a lot like what happens when you get in contact with SCP-113, the gender switching stone. So I'm wondering if the two are related. Perhaps someone crafted the gender switching stone and these coats and shoes and gloves as well. That wouldn't be shocking. So, at this point, I don't think painkillers are going to be the right move for this level of intense pain that they're going through. I would suggest that it's more likely we would need to infect them with SCP-5000 to the point where they feel no pain at all. That would be the kind of thing that seems like appropriate for this. Cyber Scorpion, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself some biscuits and gravy on your way past the commissary. Upgrade on the Switch 2 site. I managed to get all Switch 2s and find the person trying to save the princess by using a gender switcher and a costume. Oh, that was a neat trick. Very, very clever. Very clever. Good work. Fuwadi, thank you for donating again. 2 questions. If you made SCP-999 look at a pic of 096, would it attack 999? Okay, you asked this question already, and I answered it already. 999 does not activate 096, and 999 cannot stop 096 from murking you if you see its face. Spider's World. Where do I go to create an SCP? Well, you would have to go to the SCP Wiki, which is very complicated to say because our website is scpwiki.wiki.com. scpwiki.wiki.com. And there's also a hyphen between SCP and Wiki. So it's scp-wiki.wiki.com. That is the SCP database. It is a website where all of the SCP authors go and upload their SCPs. But you have to be a member and you have to follow all the site rules and processes because there's a quality control vote. So you can't just put whatever you want up there. You got to follow the rules. So make sure you read the rules and do right by the community. Then it will survive. Card Slayer, hey, thank you for donating again. Hey, Dr. Sherman, has the SCP Foundation ever had events similar to the ordinary AWE or the Alan Wake event that the FBC had to take care of? So, here's the deal. The ordinary event, let me confirm the exact events there. AWE control. The ordinary AWE, considered one of the most significant AWEs in the Federal Bureau history, led to discover the slide projector object of power, and para-utilitarians Dylan and Jesse Faden. But the slide projector and Dylan were taken Bureau custody. Ordinary Maine. Many of the events related occurred in a landfill near the town. Most of the recorded events at the ordinary AWE come from personal accounts. Blip, 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 blip. Discovery of the slide projector. Ordinary dump site. They explored the slide projector, which takes them to other worlds. Then they went into another one. Then they went into another one. And then they went into another one. They used the cave to go to more slides, which is so fun. Not really. An entity took over one of the people and made them aggressive, culminating in violence, and broke the teacher's legs with a piano. Oh my gosh. Bashed her head in, killing her. Jeez. So, an anomaly that you went into a place and it installed something in your head that made you go crazy. And then all of the adults disappeared in stage 4. So that's a lot. And I don't think we can get that specific on the SCP database. Trying to think of SCP, all adults disappeared. Have we done something like that? I know there's that new horror movie coming out soon where all the kids disappear as well. It looks like... Hold on. So it seems like people are talking about where the town disappears or something. You have SCP-026 as an option. You have SCP-1936 as an option. People are mentioning 3562, 4049. SCP-3300 is the rain that makes all the people in the town disappear. Okay, that's all I can give you on that call-out. Meanwhile, Charger, yes, the movie I was talking about just now was Weapons. I'm very interested in that one because I heard a Hollywood rumor that there was a big auction for the rights of that film, and Jordan Peele separated from his management team because they failed to win the auction. And so I'm told that's like a rumor and it's not quite based in truth, but it does give me interest in what the hell they're going on over there. I want to know what the big hubbub is about this particular movie, so I will be going to see it in theaters and see what's up. You're not going to keep me from a horror movie with interesting backstory. SCP-061-IT, thank you for donating again. Question from @Landry. What happens if the Scarlet King sees 096's face? Well, first of all, very generous of you to donate on behalf of another chatter. I appreciate your generosity. Meanwhile, I believe the Scarlet King is too big of an outer-versal entity that it would have the same effect as 682, which is that 096 cannot possibly take it out. So it would either have a panic attack the same way it did with 682, but I imagine the Scarlet King would just smite it, so it would not get the opportunity. Fennec, thank you for donating again. Fine, but I'm not giving up my tiny paper dragon friend. I may or may not have security have an issue with you. You should not be trying to take anomalies of any kind, especially if you have a 1762 entity that's alive and well. We're very interested in figuring out why that is and how we can restore the anomaly, so give it. By the way, Site42 staff in the chat, I want to congratulate you. You officially have more likes than viewers. At the 64-minute mark of stream, congratulations. Keep hitting that like button, though. The more likes we get, the more we drag people into the Site42 and SCP communities, and we can get even more people into Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codename Signal Boosters. Escapegoat, good to see you in the chat. It's been a while. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a waffle party on your way past the commissary. Can we consider the entirety deep sea anomalous? There is a lot of things going on in the ocean that are unexplored, and we have to figure out what's anomalous and what's natural, but we have to have the right submarine tech to do that research carefully. We've got some submarine bases, but it's not nearly as extensive as I would prefer. Cyber Scorpion, thank you for donating again. I'm back to being male, not that I'm transphobic, I'm just preferring a masculine scorpion. All right, well, if that's what you want to be, then more power to you. Which brings me to a perfect tangent to tell you, hey guys, we are 65 minutes into this stream. We are ending in approximately 65 minutes, so we're at the halfway point, and you know what that means. It's time for gay homework. Gay homework, otherwise known as Site42's Pride Month SCP recommendations. I want to know, did you read SCP-4175, yesterday's gay homework, otherwise known as a Site42 Pride Month recommendation? Did you read the article And did you enjoy it? And what did you think of it? Tell me about it in the chat. I'll wait for the delay of the chat to go by. And while I do, I'll pull up 4175 on my database here. 4175. Boom. Got it here. King Gamer, I'm disappointed in you for skipping the homework. Didn't read it. Unless there's a good reason you forgot about it. Doma, you forgot. That's not a good reason. Shame on you for not fulfilling your duties to gay homework. Obviously, very important duties. Life-changing. I did not. I was busy comforting a friend with mental health, but I will later. See, Sir Bird, that is a good reason. I appreciate that you are taking care of someone. More people should be taking care of people in this day and age. That's what we do here at the Foundation. We secure and we contain and we protect. We do good work. So, good job on you, and do the homework when you can. But, I'll tell you this. It is a fairly short homework, and it is honestly a pretty simple story. It's way simpler than some of the other stories I've given you in the past. I wanted to give you an easy one. This is just a little trans allegory between a Foundation staff member and or I shouldn't say a Foundation staff member. Should I? They're like a freelancer? Long story short, there's a trans allegory between the person who is doing the interview and the ghost, whereas the ghost is transitioning from life to death and being helped by this person having a trans allegory to them. So it's a very simple story. Even the community says it's a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Ham-fisted? It's a little on the nose, which, you know, this is a creative writing community for amateurs. You're not going to have the most perfect, awesome writing of all time every time. That's not a big deal. We're all doing this for fun at the end of the day. But the reasons I did want you to see is because a simple trans allegory story is always nice. It gets the job done. On top of which, I enjoy the idea of Foundation exorcists. Always good. We have a great little cameo from Ethics Committee Liaison Jeremiah Samarian. Also an excellent SCP YouTuber, although been dormant for a little bit, I believe. Samarian is here doing some ethics committee stuff and referencing other articles on the wiki like SCP-4051. So this is a great article for little bits of story bouncing around. And I like when you can go read an SCP and it drags you into a bunch of other SCP stories. It makes it easier to jump around. Real quick, Lil Dog Dude, Fighter Core, and Improper Ascension. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. And, ooh, a lot of donations come in. Let me finish gay homework and I will catch up. So, that is gay homework for yesterday. Now, what is your gay homework for today? I will put it in the chat as a link. But what I want you to read for today's gay homework is an SCP tale called Old Faces, New Foes. I'll just put this in here. Old Faces, New Foes. And link, and press, and catch it in the chat, and pin it. And there you go. You have today's gay homework ready and locked in. The 25th of June is set. Oh, please forgive me. I did not read Forgive Me, Clown Milk Jesus. I would assume if you worship Clown Milk Jesus, that Clown Milk Jesus will be the one to forgive you. Ugh. All right, let me catch up on some donations real quick. Card Slayer, thank you for donating again. Has the SCP Foundation ever dealt with events that have to do with Lara Croft or in Indiana Jones? So, what I can tell you, I don't know much about Lara Croft's anomalous events. I'm not too deep into the Tomb Raider universe. But for Indiana Jones, at least, I can tell you that do 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 do. A lot of people are saying the arc is not on the SCP Wiki, which surprises me. I thought I actually found it the other day. Doo-doo-doo. So 4013 mentions the Ark of the Covenant. So there is something to be said for that Indiana Jones story on the wiki. And then, let's see, there was the Holy Grail. Holy Grail. (857-D), the Holy Grail. So someone made the Holy Grail in the past and seemingly decommissioned it. So when staff decommissions articles in the past, it was a policy where when an SCP was written that was very, very, very bad, so bad that it wasn't just deleted, the staff members of the site at the time would make a big show of writing a story about destroying that anomaly because it was so bad. It was a little spiteful, it was a little negative, but and the community has grown up since then, but it did lead to Duke Till Dawn, which, despite being crazy fan service slop, I still think it's pretty funny at the end of the day. I enjoy some Looney Tunes garbage from time to time. I'm not ashamed of it. Fenatech, thank you for donating again. I already figured out how to bring 1762 back. We'll tell the 1762 research team then. They would be very interested in the information. Escapegoat, thank you for donating again. Okay, but would you issue a request to contain the depths of the sea if I inform you of spider crabs with longer than the human body? It's good to be back. It's good to have you back, even though I don't, like the idea of spider crabs. Longer limbs than the human body, I hate it. I hate it so much. Listen, I'm halfway to nuking the ocean thanks to that statement. Don't test me. Silent Follower, good to see you in the chat. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a cafe con leche on your way past the commissary. Hello, what did I miss? Well, at this point in the stream, we have covered gay homework, although I do believe I saw you come in during gay homework. So I do believe you saw that. And at the halfway point of this stream just passed, check this out. Here, if you look at the title of this stream, you will see that I have an official panel room at MetroCon Tampa. This year, 2025, MetroCon Tampa will be hosting, Friday, July 25th at 12 p.m., the SCP Foundation Meetup hosted by Dr. Sherman from Site 42, panel room 124 to 125, extra large open space room. Details. We die in the dark, that's so small I'll just read it. We die in the dark so that you may live in the light, but once in a while, the Foundation staff need to take a day off. Join Dr. Theron Sherman from the Site 42 YouTube and TikTok channels for an SCP fan meetup. Dr. Sherman will hold a short Q&A, sign autographs, and take pictures. There will also be time allotted for taking cosplay photos with other SCP Foundation fans, discussing the lore of the SCP Foundation universe, and a small amount of SCP Foundation merch will be given away courtesy of Toad King Studios on Etsy. Cosplays from all corners of the SCP universe, SCP staff, SCPs, GOIs, etc. are welcome, and even congoers unfamiliar with SCP are welcome to come and investigate this strange online sci-fi and horror fandom as well. As always, secure, contain, protect. So, if you just happen to be able to make it, to Tampa, Florida, then I'll see you there. Silent follower. Sorry, sadly can't go, but hope you and everyone else has fun. Understandable. As I've said to other people, I know that there's a wide world and I can only be in one place at a time. I do hope that as the channel continues to grow, as the community continues to grow, I can take this show a little more on the road, do other conventions as well, and come see you guys in the other places in the country and the world. I think it would be fun to get some travel in and bring some togetherness to the SCP community. Just read SCP 41-D3N73-J. Pretty funny. Yeah, I'm sure it's pretty funny if you're not Italian, because then it's just racist. It's rude, I say. Out of character. That article is funny as hell. I love SCP al dente-J. So where was I? Rebel Commander, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Get yourself some Bantha jerky on your way past the commissary. What's the deepest sea SCP base? Need one at the bottom of the ocean. I'll look that up real quick, because maybe I can find one. SCP-061-IT, thank you for donating again. And yes, you can do the gay homework right now, because you can't later. You definitely can. So, SCP Deep Sea Base. So I know for a fact that SCP-5320 has a sea base because they are tracing the infinite fish that just goes on forever. However, may it rain in its glorious infinitude. Amen. Let's get drunk at work. 5320, I'm just confirming that that's a sea base. I would guess it is. Underwater drones, yes. Oh, maybe they're on land and they're just using drones. Well, that's less fun. I was wanting a sea base. All right, Deep Sea Site 72 is a facility located in the Marianas Trench, focusing on research and containment. There you go. Deep Sea Site 72 is there for you. King Gamer, SCP-5320 is not a loop. It's not a loop. It is an infinite fish. It's not infinite if it loops. Therefore, it cannot loop since it is infinite. May we find the head or the tail? Tampa, Florida is so close to Louisville, Kentucky, yet so far when you don't have enough money to go. Oh, I understand that. As I said, I hope to have more travel opportunities in the future. Yorm Hammerson, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a horn of mead on your way past the commissary. Blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne. Now that that's out the way, doing a coffee run before fist fighting Abel. Any orders? You know what? I am running low on coffee. I could use a... Give me a double shot of espresso on ice with a splash of oat milk, please. Do you like Ambrose restaurants? 3Cs? I am a fan of some of their food, honestly. I'm not supposed to say that because they're an anomalous restaurant chain, and they're out there being all anomalous, but if you go to the one in 3 Portlands where it's okay, it's pretty fine food. I'm just saying. Did I see a welcome home fan in the chat? Nice. Ah, bringing the fandoms together. What is your favorite SCP? Intern Mel Soda, I always traditionally tell you my favorite SCPs at the end of stream, which is approximately 50 minutes from now. So if you want to hang out for 50 minutes, I will tell you all of my favorite SCPs, as per tradition. Or you can cheat and go back to yesterday's stream, because I did it there, and I do it at the end of every stream. Also, I have been known to do it if enough super chats come in asking for it. At that point, you can't say no. Colbroza, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a Onigiri, on your way past the commissary. If the SCP world was combined with the Doctor Who world, how would the Foundation contain the Silence? So that would be a job for the Anti-Mimetics Division, because they are literally an anti-mimetic entity. They are basically SCP-055, just slightly depowered. So we would need the Anti-Mimetics Division. Now, the Foundation does manufacture nestics, and that allows us to remember things that we're not supposed to be able to remember. So that would be our counter to that. Therefore, I don't think we'd have a problem with it. We're used to this. Fennec Tech, thank you for donating again. If the Foundation doesn't have enough imagination to bring them all back, there's a reason a few of them didn't vanish. I don't like the way that you're talking about the Foundation's protocols. I think we have enough imagination in our left foot to make things happen. Bad gameplay. The SCP world has no official lore, right? Isn't all fan-made stuff in the wiki? So think about it like this. If you are a fan of Marvel, then you can write fan fiction about your Marvel characters, that's fine. But there is always the overarching, the MCU continuity, the comics continuity, different continuities within the comics, and then everything trickles down to the fans. And so one could say that you can headcanon whatever you want from Marvel, it's just that there is an official canon of the different kinds of canons. SCP Wiki just condenses that a little bit, because instead of having to go work for Marvel to get your ideas canonized, you can just write it on the SCP Wiki. So it's a lot easier to make things canon. And because of that, the SCP Wiki has the there is no canon rule, which states that anything on the wiki is allowed to contradict. There is no one true canon. You can pick and choose, like a buffet, whatever you want to be canon. For instance, my example is SCP-106, The Old Man, Radical Larry, Acid Hunter Barbecue Daddy. That guy has a canon origin story on the wiki. It's called The Young Man, and it's written by Dr. Gears, the same author who wrote 106. So you would say, hey, that's the canon background. But you see, SCP-3001 has an offshoot tale written by another person called Until Death. And it's the story about how Robert Scranton, the character stuck in the black acid dimension of SCP-3001, over time became SCP-106. And I find the story of 3001 and Until Death a way more compelling story than The Young Man. So to me, that's my headcanon. I think that 106 is Robert Scranton. But, you know, that's me and my little headcanon of how things are. And it's just as factual as anything else because it's on the wiki. And if it's on the wiki, it's canon, at least in one way. You see what I mean? Where's Desk? The Desk is very sleepy today. Also, I did not warn Desk that I was going to be streaming early because this is a surprise to me too. Therefore, that is the disaster we're in right now. Desk is going to wake up and be like, oh shit, I wasn't there. And I'm going to be like, it's fine, bro. It's fine. You're welcome, bad gameplay. I'm happy to clarify that. Silent Follower, thank you for donating again. I'll look forward to that day, lol. Until then, I'll enjoy hanging out in the streams with you. Radical. We will keep doing streams as long as I can keep the streak going. One day, I may or may not have to stream a little less if I want to get other things done. But right now, the daily streams are going very well. I'm enjoying them. I know you guys are. So as long as we're having a good time, why not keep the party rolling? Black Phoenix, thank you for donating again. What do they classify SCPs that are uncontainable? So there are 4 classifications an uncontainable anomaly could be. Keter is what we used to call it, because Keter just means really, really hard to contain, and that used to mean that it was uncontained as well. Then they added the uncontained classification. So that's an upgraded form of not contained. Then there were 2 more added later down the line. They were called Ticonderoga and Archon. Archon is that we could contain it, but it's a bad idea, so we let it loose. And Ticonderoga is we can't contain it, and even if we could, it would be a bad idea. And I'm going to confirm that I'm not mixing those up because those are newer and I get them confused all the time. I believe Archon is we can't contain and we... Where are you? Where are you? Where is it? There we go. Archon is we can contain it, but it shouldn't be contained. Ticonderoga is can't contain it and should not be contained. So that is where we are with that. 4 classifications for things we can or can't, or things that are not contained at the time. Samuel Corelli, thank you for donating twice in a row for the first time. Grab yourself some jelly beans on your way past the commissary. Should I attempt to open the portal again? Should I attempt to open the rift again? Can we have just one day without alternate universes imposing on ours? Just don't open any portals or rifts. Let's just take a breather. The conference, and what is Apollyon? So, I've got for your information, if you look up Object Class Guide SCP, there is a page that lists all these. I'll tell you, but this is something that you guys can look on. Apollyon is anomalies that cannot be contained, are expected to breach containment imminently, or some other similar scenario. Such anomalies are usually associated with world-ending threats or a K-class scenario of some kind, and require a massive effort from the Foundation to deal with. So it's uncontainable world-enders simply. It's a little more nuanced than that, but uncontainable world-enders. Liam, thank you for your first donation to today's stream and your second donation to today's stream. You didn't send any messages, but grab yourself a hot cocoa on your way past the commissary. Cool Man Fight, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some chips and queso on your way past the commissary. I got a question. How would the SCP contain the G-Man from Half-Life? If I remember correctly... give me 1 second. Adriel the Duper. I am going to be there at MetroCon all 3 days, but the meetup is on Friday at noon. The meetup is a panel room that we scored Friday at noon, but I will be there all weekend, so if you don't make the first day, I'll still be around. You're saying you're going to be there for 1 day on Saturday, so we'll have to meet up on Saturday around the convention floor. Now, as I was saying, G-Man from Half-Life, I need to look up its anomalies. Because if I'm remembering correctly... Da-da-da-da. All right, history. Appearance, personality, and skills. Using powers and skills. What powers and skills? Tell me what the powers are. Skill with technology. Operates a wide range of machinery. I mean, yes, it uses portals. The G-Man uses portals, therefore it's the most annoying thing to contain because it can just portal out. So unless we have the proper Scranton Reality Anchor, it's pretty hard to contain that thing. And since Scranton Reality articles our Scranton Reality Anchors are hard to come by, we just have to do our best to deal with it. Adriel, sounds good then. Sadly, we'll miss the meetup, but hopefully we'll get to run into you the next day. I'll be there, buddy. We can make another Through the Halls video. Soul Hunter, thank you for donating for, I think, the first time today, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a tostada on your way past the commissary. It took 12 hours, but 035 is contained. That's good news. I'm glad to hear that thing is back in its box. Excellent work. Escape Goat, thank you for donating again. Sadly, deep-sea spider crabs are real. Of course they are. I don't need to like them. But if you can look up lizardfish and tell me, does that look hard to destroy to you? I fear we may have found hatchlings. Lizardfish. Well, that looks a bit... Well, it's tiny. It's hand size, so I'm not that worried. It's a small being. Thankfully, something that's not a deep-sea horror. Samuel, thank you for donating again. But just imagine the armaments we can get from the Warhammer universe. And just remember the insane anomalies and magic bullshit that can come through the portal with those armaments. No! Is there an SCP that's a Yorkshire breed dog? Well, that is something I can look up on the wiki and see if I can, Must contain Yorkshire. That's Yorkshire Terrier. No, that is a anomaly being tested on a Yorkshire Terrier. Okay, so that's not it. That's a wooden bench in Yorkshire again. Again, there's some Yorkshire pudding. $4587 is a video cassette of a dog movie, which is like a dog movie but misspelled, starring Charles Grodin, Andy McDowell, and Alan Rickman. They do not remember being in said movie. And there's apparently a Yorkshire Terrier in there. It looks like the Yorkshire Terrier is underrepresented on the SCP Wiki. Do you think Mobile Task Force Samsara could kill a Keter class SCP? Intern gameplay, I am certain the, quote, Power Rangers can destroy a lot of anomalies, but remember, their mission is not to destroy anomalies. They are meant to contain them. We do not destroy anomalies because then we can't research them. Charger, are you saying SCP-8230 is an anomalous Yorkshire dog? How did I miss that? It is a dog in Shed, a local legend within the town of Shadesbrook, Yorkshire. It seems like but it seems like a black dog. Although we have a black shuck elsewhere. Also, just for my clarification here. Yeah, because the Yorkshire Terrier are those little tiny teacup dogs. The dog that we're looking at here is a dog in Yorkshire, to be fair, but it's definitely not a Yorkshire Terrier. That's the clarification I'm using there for that. The Wondertainment product Lil Chemist Kit, SCP-1224, reminds me of this one toy from the 1950s that had real uranium and was a chemistry kit for kids. Adults need scientist supervision. Yeah, that was bad planning. I remember when we believed that uranium was anomalous and it just turned out to be a natural thing. But I mean, it was going crazy. It's a rock that burns you. That was a weird thing. It was worth investigating until we discovered that it was natural science. 1224, the little chemist kit. Yeah, the thing about that is it has a bunch of anomalous compounds along with the normal natural ones. It is, that's our problem there. Dr. Sherman, I have a formal request for you. Please deeply consider it. Can I put SCP-729- J in SCP-914 on very fine, please? Request denied. Absolutely fucking not. Not a chance in high heaven or hell. I absolutely do not want to see even a singularly better version of that thing. Ugh. Thank you for being a member, however, Crystal Workman. We appreciate your membership and your service. Junior Researcher HLG, good to see you in the chat. Thank you for being a member. Silent Follower, thank you for donating again. Dr. Sherman, quick question. Mind if I share more of my poetry with you? It's fine if not, just asking out of curiosity. Well, it wasn't particularly long last time, so I do not feel bad about saying yes to that. Samuel Corelli, thank you for donating again. Fine, opens portal to Sunless Skies universe and get... I don't even want to know what Sunless Skies universe is. I don't know what that is, and I'm already very worried that you're opening a portal to it. An unsanctioned universal portal that could bring gods know what in. And when I say gods know, this time I'm talking about SCP-5991, Vorjesus. Vorjesus knows what you're going to bring in here. Why is there a choo-choo train in space? That doesn't make sense. That is gothic horror roleplay game, exploration, exquisite storytelling. Possessions, cargo, shops, bargains, prospects, clue, medal, captain, skills, combat. Sky beasts? You're opening a portal with a library of sky beasts on the other side? Not enough bourbon in my coffee. You say it's underground? Why? But it looks like it's in a starry sky. I mean, Sunless Sky would make sense as a title of an underground thing, that's for sure. The summary says it's best summarized as the Victorian Empire in space. So don't you lie to me. I see it on the page right here in front of me. Attention, Site 42. Do not ask security staff to join you in, quote, bullying that filthy tree. Go to medical. We have more than enough staff bullying that pathetic excuse of a tree. Yeah, but Synth. What if we had some more? Holy hell, tricking Loki. Good to see you in the chat, Lieutenant. Amara is popping into the Fallen London universe soon. I love it. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Oh, I need to see what those siblings are getting up to. Silent Follower. That was a yes. Thank you for donating again to request a clarification. Escapegoat, thank you for donating again. Sherman contains and protects. Just a shirt merch idea. Get like a Dr. Sherman, looking all buff. Sherman contains, protects. Yeah, I could see it. Sunless Skies is part of Fallen London universe. I had a feeling that that's what you were talking about, because my initial thought is, in the SCP universe, we have Un-London. So I was like, I don't think that she is talking about Un-London. I don't think they're talking about Un-London, because then they would said Un-London, and Fallen London sounds like a different thing. And so, yes, that, I assumed it was something like that. I guess I need to invite Amara along to MetroCon. Friday at noon. Panel room 124 to 125. SCP meetup with Dr. Sherman at MetroCon 2025. If you're going to be in Tampa, be there. Can't believe they give me a panel room. What am I going to do with that? Rock the show, that's what. We need to see what happens if we put 682 in the hard to destroy lizard in 002, the living room. Unfortunately, 682 broke out too quickly and did not get transformed. It was frustrating to say the least. We have that test in a video somewhere on the channel. Silent follower, thank you for donating again to say thank you. You are too generous. Understood. Amara will be there to bully Dr. Sherman. God save us all. In this case, I mean SCP-6542, the Virgin Dairy, otherwise known as Milk Jesus, aka Jesus. That's the god I meant to invoke in that one. Hi there, reporting from Medical here. Please refrain from using that thing TM's designation due to health concerns, especially around Dr. Sherman. Please use that thing TM or Peeps instead. Dr. Pidgeoth Bird. I want you to know that that does help, but it's still a little, still in there somewhere. It's not as bad, but just hate that thing. Back on my official Foundation account now. Well, welcome back, Dr. Ledoux, and thank you for being a member. Now I want a 999 beanbag chair. Have the free merch idea. I'll be your first buyer, and thanks in advance for getting that psych eval done. Yeah, we'll totally get that psych eval done as soon as I go to medical, for sure. On top of which, big orange beanbag, put some eyes on it. That's a pretty easy merch idea, except for the big beanbag stuff. You got to get a quality beanbag. And where are you going to get a quality beanbag in that bright orange? Plotting. So, Chairman, that's almost Sherman. You're very close. I understand you have a typo there. Hey, let's put SCP-420-J in on verify. Oh. That certainly might. That'll either be a really good time, or we might never sober up. So, it's an interesting prospect. We're still working on other alternatives and also studying the chip to see if we can painlessly replicate its resistive properties. See, that I like. That, if we can find a way to do it that doesn't completely destroy my digestive tract on its own, that would be nice. What object would a floating brain which controls you telepathically be? Well, intern Bin, I would assume to be Keter, because if it can do mind control, it makes it very easy for it to escape. So by default, I believe it would be Keter. Black Phoenix, thank you for donating again. What are some less well-known but still interesting SCPs? Okay, I'll give you a couple SCPs that I appreciate that I think are underrated. First of all, SCP-2337, codename Dr. Spanko. Very fun entity. It is a corncrake, which is a very small bird, but it can talk. But it talks in Hamsarian word salad, and it talks at such a high decibel level that if you don't wear ear protection properly, it will blow out your eardrums. Dr. Spanko is very funny. I appreciate hanging out with Dr. Spanko as long as they have the proper ear protection. And more people should hang out with Dr. Spanko. 2337 is a fun one. Meanwhile, other anomalies that I think are underrated, that aren't just my favorites, because that would be cheating. Of course, I think my favorites are underrated because I think they're great. But, okay, playlist. Let's go to the podcast. And underrated articles in the podcast that I've done. I think acrophobia is underrated. SCP acrophobia. Come on, you can type. No, not the tail acrophobia. SCP-8654 acrophobia is, it's at plus 325, which is good for an anomaly that's only been out for about, since October. But we can do better than that, people, because this is when day breaks, but instead of the sun turning into a deadly laser, gravity reverses, but only for humans. So humans and animals start flying into the sky, but cars and objects do not reverse. And so we have to wear special weighted suits to walk outside. Otherwise, we float off into the stratosphere. And again, like 90% of humanity dies instantly. The people who are walking around the ceilings of their houses are pretty screwed. And people, the SCP Foundation forms underground civilizations to do what we can. My mom says hi. She absolutely adores some of the SCPs. Her favorite is the little girl. I like Josie the half cat. Well, that's very nice, Rose. I'm glad your mother and you are enjoying SCPs together. So yes, those are my two underrateds for the day. Dr. Spanko SCP-2337 for a low danger anomaly, and 8654, the day gravity reversed, for very high level danger. Now, what do we got here? Escapegoat, thank you for donating again. Is there a world where that is the only tree that is screaming, and a Dr. Sherman trying to make it stop being a screaming jerk? You know, multiverses and canons and pataphysical layers love being ironic like that. I would not be shocked if there was a universe that was the reverse of the scenario. And me and that Dr. Sherman will have to get a drink and talk about our frustrations. Samuel Corelli, thank you for an incredibly generous donation. I know this is not your first donation, but what I want you to do is I want you to run over to my office. I will leave the key card under the mat for you specifically. If anyone else grabs it, they're going to be exploded. I have an exploder there nearby. Only researcher Corelli is allowed to grab this. And once you get in there, on the third drawer on the right of my desk, I want you to take the special bourbon and have yourself a glass. Thank you again for your intense generosity. Sunless Skies is in a version of Heavens, where the suns and gods kill each other with a kind of cleaner beast that gets sent after people who look too closely at the affairs of the suns. Some sun domains are directly involved in death's affairs. That's a lot. That's quite a reality to be dealing with. I am glad not to be there. Although it does sound like a very fun and dangerous setting for role-playing games. And it's probably super cool if my buddy Tricking Loki is playing it. By the way, if you want to hang out with someone who is very wholesome and chill and plays a lot of games, Tricking Loki on Twitch is a buddy of mine. And they deserve some more friends out there. So if you like wholesome being creators playing video games, Tricking Loki on Twitch is a good recommendation of mine. And you can tell him Dr. Sherman sent you. Card Slayer, thank you for donating again. Hey, Dr. Sherman, would the SCP Foundation work with the Ghostbusters? So for the Ghostbusters, I would assume that A, we would absorb them because they are an anomalous containment crew. We have very similar jobs. I just want them to stop telling the public about what's going on and advertising it. Let's do a little more secrecy, please. But I assume more likely because they are very entrepreneurial, they would rather stay independent as a business, which would frustrate us greatly, and they'd be a group of interest in our universe. And that means that sometimes we would team up if we had to. Herman Fuller, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Here come the clowns. Did you miss me? I missed me, and I know everyone else did. How's my favorite Schwormy? Don't you have an anomalous circus to be running? A disquieting circus to be running? Rather than bothering me while I am teaching my staff members about the anomalous? Are you going to teach them? Please don't teach them. Do not listen to a thing this clown says. And I know Herman is not a clown. He's the ringmaster of the circus, but still, in a colloquial sense, a clown. Onimask, thank you for your membership donation. Ooh, 24 months, and I can see your bronze badge on there. I have not seen a lot of the custom badges from long-term members. That's really cool. I was worried they weren't working. So, very neat. In the spirit of yesterday's clown-centric stream I missed, and seeing how SCP-4671 is currently housed at Site-42, is it possible that Clarky's species is somewhat related in some way to 2912? All right, you're talking about 4671. Let me check the database real quick. Clarky the Clown. We have to wear clown makeup when directly interacting with the subject. Bring tranquilizers and shock batons. Okay, I like what I'm seeing here. Sapient humanoid entity with the appearance of a generic clown that stands 1.6 meters tall. Baggy suit. Chest cavity. Clarky the Clown. Inflating, blowing on his thumb. Doing cartoon things. That's annoying. Not carnivorous. Consumes mainly candy. State to be able to consume meat, but refuse out of morality and feeling sick. Control. Intense fear of human beings. Only likes to hang out with clowns. Milk. It received a milkshake. Okay, so it likes strawberry milkshakes. And I'm not seeing a mention of the circus. This might be just an entirely different kind of anomalous clown. Huh. It looks like this is not a related species. Although there was another anomaly. Okay, what about a version of Clarky that's more aggressive? This looks like it's just a different species of clown. Huh! I was not familiar with this. Thank you for the tip. Chris the Direwolf Boy, no, not strawberry clown milkshakes. No. Time check, by the way. We are 15 minutes from the end of stream. 15 minutes from the end of stream. I better get on catching up with these donos real quick. Sheesh. Dog, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a can of dog food on your way past the commissary. Gravity reverses, that's bizarre. I think I've seen that in the show where these people are on an adventure. I think his name was Jojo. Did JoJo's Bizarre Adventure have a gravity reversing episode? Would not be shocked. That sounds like the kind of thing those crazy MFers get up to. Tricking Loki. I gotta bounce again so I can work getting a field trip to Equestria ready at the library. Ooh, a trip to Equestria and the library. You're going everywhere. I don't even know how Foundation researchers are allowed to get into those spaces. Love your face, Captain. Love your face, Lieutenant. And also thank you for the shout out. Reminder, Tricking Loki on Twitch. A friend of mine, dear friend, deserves your eyeballs. Very wholesome. Unlike me, I'm not wholesome at all. I am very terse. So if you want wholesomeness, you go to Tricking Loki. If you want insane ultraviolence, you go to Desk. And if you go to me, then you come for whatever the hell I'm doing. Desk, you're awake. Good to see you, buddy. Assuming all clowns are a part of Herman Fuller's circus is kind of clown racist. Tisk, tisk. God damn it, Desk. You're so right. That's good. I like that. 3Cs, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a pickleback on your way past the commissary. A planet of life that evolved from anomalous self-replicating spoons. As long as none of them bend your back at a 90-degree angle when you pick them up, and as long as you do not put the spoons in your butt, because butt spoons are a thing we say no to. Blitzker Toaster, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a plate of flapjacks on your way past the commissary. Good afternoon from the Anti-Mimetics Division. Good afternoon to you guys as well. Herman Fuller, thank you for donating again. So guys, clown milk, delicious, drink it. We also, of course, have clown cheese, which is, of course, endorsed by Clown Milk Jesus. Do not advertise anomalous food products to my staff members. Clown milk kills people. Literally, it only kills. Do not eat the clown milk-based beverages. Oh, the pain continues. SCP-729-J, thank you for donating for the first time to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a knife on your way past the commissary. I'll tell you where the hidden box is, but you have to give me a compliment. My oh my, SCP-729-J. Your stomach is looking so very, very stabbable today. Isn't that nice? Zerdrin, I wanted it to have the knife to use on itself. I was expecting seppuku. I was not expecting it to do anything outside of itself. Death Player, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a pastrami on rye on your way past the commissary. Hello, I want some feedback from you. Am I a well-behaved anomaly in your office, or do you have complaints or suggestions for improvement? Honestly, it's one of those situations where I kind of forgot you were present. So you're doing a good job keeping a low profile and not causing a fuss, a rarity among anomalies in the Foundation. So honestly, 10 out of 10, good job. Samuel Corelli, thank you for donating again. I'm more of a rum guy. Oh, trust me. I've got special rum in there too. Trust me, I am half pirate by descendancy of my living in Tampa, Florida. So yes, please, the rum is not gone. Get yourself some, grab yourself some of that instead, please. Anyway, there's a chance of accidentally letting over special beasts that have a habit of eating everything till nothing is left. You see, that's why we don't do that. That's why we don't open the portals to the dimensions with the special beasts. Wait, you're based here? I don't know. Obviously, we're based. I just don't know why we are saying so, but I appreciate it, yes. Silent Follower, thank you for donating again. You are a mix of things. Well, aren't we all as people? 729-J. Thank you for donating again. Thanks, Mr. I'm a doctor, please. Show some respect. Now I can give my assistant extra power that is in the box. I don't even understand how that happens. I don't understand. But I am worried. Now, we are at the 8-minute mark of end of stream, and I do have a hard leaving time limit. So I'm starting the outro a little early because I got to get on my way properly. I will get any last donations that are given after the outro before the credit song. So first and foremost, reminder, the name of the stream is what it is because we have an official panel room at MetroCon Tampa. I talked to a guy who knows a guy, and they slipped me in the last minute. So we are having an IRL SCP Foundation fandom meetup at MetroCon 2025 in Tampa, Florida. We are on the schedule at 12 p.m. on Friday, July 25th. SCP Foundation meetup hosted by Dr. Sherman from Site 42. If you can be in Tampa, Florida on July 25th, you can come hang out with us. It's going to be a good time. We'll have some cosplayers, and we'll have a little Q&A, and we'll talk about the lore. I'm expecting it will just be sort of what we're doing in streams, but in person. That's how I'm expecting it to be. So, remember, we're doing that. I will continue to advertise it as we get closer to the date, so I'll make sure no one forgets about it, because it's the first time I ever held an in-person meet and greet that's official. So, that'll be really cool! Furthermore, as always at the end of stream, I tell you my favorite SCPs. It's a tradition around here. And I'm not going to tell you my favorite SCPs, because that would be cheating. Of course, I'm not going to tell you my SCPs that I wrote are my favorite, because that would be cheating. I'm obviously going to tell you my favorite SCPs. That's the whole point. But the ones that I wrote, those would be cheating if I said those are my favorite. So, in that case, if you want to read the SCPs I wrote, you can go to the Sherm's author page and Site 42 Hub on the SCP Wiki. There you'll see the articles I have written or contributed to otherwise, as well as some direct donation links. If you want to become a patron, if you want to become a YouTube channel member, if you want to make a one-time donation through Ko-Fi or a super chat, however you feel like directly donating to the Site 42 cause, we greatly appreciate it. On top of which, even if you can't directly donate to Site 42, if you're here hitting that like button, subscribing to us, watching our videos and streams, commenting, sharing them around with your friends, pulling them into the SCP Foundation, kicking and screaming, well, that makes you a member of Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codename the Signal Boosters. Our mission to go off in the world and spread the gospel of the SCP Foundation, of SCP film and game and art projects that are being made. That way, they get more eyes on them, they get more support, they get more budget, so that they can come back to SCP and make bigger and better things the next time. That is our mission, and we are very, very good at it. So I thank you for your service. Now, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and SCP-8980 with a huge content warning. That one's a rough one. One time really quick, 3999-3043-008-J, Spooky-J, 5031-51755, 320, and 8980. Content warning on the last one. Before I go into the last donos really quick, Charger, did you hear that Dead by Daylight has deconfirmed SCP ever coming to the game? I have not heard that, but I'm very interested in finding out what's up with that. I'm sure it probably has something to do with the Creative Commons or something like that, but I'm interested. I would like to see what they mean by that, what their reasoning is, just because I like to see how different fandoms and properties are trying to or trying not to interact with the SCP space. It's very interesting. All right, last donos. Death Player, thank you for donating again. So my experiments in my box aren't escaping? Good. Well, so far so good. Herman Fuller, thank you for donating again. After speaking with the dear sweet Percival Dark, I am pleased to inform you of the new Dr. Wondertainment and Herman Fuller 729 District Cannon! What the tarnation? No! No, not that! No way! I hate this universe. You again, 729 Jay, thank you for donating again. Why are you hiding Peep plushie from me? Because you're going to make another one. You're going to make another one if I give it to you, so no. And Death Player, thank you for gifting a Site 42 membership right at the last minute. Whoever grabbed that, make sure you thank Death Player for their generosity. Ugh. It was in a FNAF Discord Q&A around a week ago. Charger, if you want to shoot me that to my business email, if you have any screen caps or anything, I would love to see it. Meanwhile, I have reached the end of the donos, which means it is the end of stream. So, one more donation gifting. Thank you for Death Player gifting another donation. Make sure you thank the Death Player for that. And yes, I will see you all in the next stream and or video. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. Death Player, thank you for donating again, another donation of a membership. At slow speed, we all seem focused. In motion, we seem wrong. In summer, we can taste the rain. And I want you to be free. Don't worry about me. And just like the movies, we play out our last scene. You won't cry, I won't scream. The credit song is Movies by Alien Ant Farm. The gay homework of yesterday, for those who asked, is SCP-4175. And the gay homework for today is a tale called Old Faces, New Foes. Thank you for enjoying Site 42's stream. See you in the next one.